Hello, everybody, and I thought I'd do a video, post a video, which I haven't done for a while, and just shoot the breeze a little bit and post a video of various things going on here at the Nerd Lounge. And first of all, I want to start off by saying, hey, support live music. Yeah, support local musicians and bands and stuff like that because it's been rough few years, especially earlier this decade with COVID and everything, and plus the popularity of DJs, live DJs, and karaoke bars. It seems like live music kind of took a backstage or step back there. So go out there and support live bands if you know there's one playing at a local bar and stuff like that, and give these guys a boost because a lot of these musicians spend a lot of their own time rehearsing, practicing, and getting that sound down, learning songs and everything. Myself included. I don't just do original stuff. There's a lot of cover tunes that I also do too. So yeah, get out there and support live music. Let's make this popular again. So I thought, well, first of all, I'd like to say if you hear some noise in the background, it's that white thing right there, the dehumidifier kicking in and out. So I apologize for a little bit of that background noise. So anyway, I thought I'd show you a little bit of my arsenal of bass guitars because sometimes I'll post I bought this guitar or I sold this guitar, and so I thought I'd just kind of make a video showing what I have and whatnot, uh, just for the hell of it. Anyway, I'll start off with what I have working on. I have been working on for quite a while. It's this one, a Squire 5 bass or Squire 6 bass. I'm sorry, 6 strings. So I guess that would make it a Squire 6 bass. So what's going on with this? Why has it been on the workbench for the longest time? Well, the culprit is this thing, switches. When I originally got this guitar a couple of years ago, one of the switches was broke and it wasn't working properly. So I had bought a whole new switch, put that in and everything, soldered all the wires back together. And for some reason, it worked okay for a little bit. Then all of a sudden, another set of switches went out. And so I thought I'd just, instead of going around and replacing each individual switch, I might as well buy just the whole assembly, this whole switch assembly here. Well, come to find online, they didn't have a whole switch assembly, which is ironic. You think they'd have this all pre-made and everything, but they didn't. So what I actually found online was a kit that included the switch panel, this board and everything with the 4 switches, but it also came with the pick guard and 3 new pickups, as well as, I believe, the tone and volume knob as well. So this whole thing I bought for like $120 online when I only really needed this thing. What I have on here right now is a new one that I replaced, but when I soldered everything together, there was no sound coming. There was nothing going. And so I don't know if my soldering, which is not the greatest at all, but I don't know if that was, if this is just bad switches or if my soldering technique sucks. I'm going to guess the soldering sucks. So I'm at a pickle right now. I don't know what to do. It's a good guitar because when I bought this a couple of years ago, I kind of changed things out. I changed the tuning heads on this, the machines on here. And so these are all new, upgraded, better tuners and everything. Oh yeah, here's the kit I was talking about with the pick guard and the volume and tone knobs. Whammy bar, that was for the Strat I bought, but there's pickups in there too, and the other pickups are in there. But anyway, so I'm at a dilemma what to do with this right now, and I'm thinking that I'm just going to bypass these switches altogether and just have the pickups go right to the volume knob for power, and just have all 3 of these pickups active at once. Because when I use this guitar, and I've used it on a couple of recordings and everything, and it's got a nice good sound. when I have used it, I've used all 3 pickups anyway, so why not just bypass the problem and just go right to the knob and everything. So I think that's what I'm going to do and get this hopefully back up and running whenever I get some time. I know I got some other projects going on right now, so but yeah, this has been sitting here for about a month. I haven't touched it in a while, so kind of neglected it. I'm sorry. But anyway, moving on, we're going to come over here to another acquisition I got a few years ago. The Buzzard Bass. Yeah. This is not a Warwick Buzzard Bass at all. Nope. It is a Chinese knockoff brand Buzzard Bass. If you know the story of the Buzzard Bass, it was designed by the late John Entwistle of The Who. And he came up with the design, and in the mid-'80s, he had Warwick build him a few of them, and he used Warwick Buzzard basses for a good number of years. And then in the 90s, he switched to Status Graphite, which was all graphite neck and body for the Buzzard bass. And so this is based on the Warwick brand because the Status one had soap bar pickups, 2 soap bar pickups instead of the mirror imaged P-bass pickup setup here. I bought this about 3 years ago. Did some modifications, new machine heads, tuning machine heads on the top. I also replaced the pickups, so these are Wilkinson pickups rather than generic ones that were on there. I mean, the ones that were on there were all right, but these ones pack a little more punch and sound a little better. This is a volume knob for the front pickups, volume knob for the back ones, and then the tone. And this switch here is a kill switch. It kills the power to the pickup, so you can toggle it on and off. I don't know what the functionality for having that is, but yeah, it's on there. I wanted to replace this bridge, but there'd be 3 gaping holes in the body if I did that, and so I think I'm just going to live with it. It's not the greatest bridge, but it works. I kind of did some other tweaking on this bass, and it's playable. I've used it on a number of recordings, and it just freaking looks cool. Plus, it makes me feel like John Entwistle sometimes. Hey, somebody can dream, right? All right, let's go into the studio here. Yeah, there's the workstation. Yeah, computer, the DAW system, digital, and the digital recorder on the shelf there, and my stash of studio guitars, which has another bass guitar. And I think you'll recognize this one. This is my custom bass. And I don't think I really need to go into details on this one too much because I use this one a lot. And I love this thing. I designed it. Yeah, and it's heavy. But this thing frickin' sounds awesome. I love this thing. And I just recently put black strings on here, so now it looks really cool. Really cool. Yep. Love that guitar. So, yep. Oh yeah, and some things. Check out this wood grain on the back of this thing. It's just beautiful. Beautiful gloss and everything. Yeah, love it. So yeah, if you're gonna ask if if I end up selling a whole bunch of my guitars, if I'm gonna ever sell my custom guitar, no chance in hell. Forget about it. In this corner of the studio, where there's a sign or a picture of a bass guitar, my lovely sister-in-law drew that for me. Jazz bass, yeah. So I have that picture over the doorway, which goes into the equipment room. Bunch of cables on the wall here on a coat rack. Not used as a coat rack, but for organizing cables. I love it. And here's my stash of bass guitars, starting with this one, which I have uniquely labeled on the cases, all these, because a lot of these cases are identical, so I don't know what the hell is what. So I put labels on these cases so I know what bass guitar is in this case. Kind of important to know. So, yeah. So I'm going to set the camera on the music stand here, and I'm going to go grab a guitar and kind of describe it and some specs on it and stuff like that. So hold on, I'll be right back. All right. Here's the next one I'm going to bring out. And this is the very first bass guitar I ever had. Squier 1985 Precision Bass. Very first bass guitar I ever got. Obviously, there's been some modifications to this one. Back in the either late 90s or early 2000s, my dad swapped out the original Squier pickups in here with Seymour Duncan quarter pounder pickups, so it's got a little more punch to it now. And just a couple of years ago, maybe even last year, I changed the pickguard on this. This used to have just a black pickguard, so it was all black on black, but I changed it to a tortoise shell pickguard on here. But yeah, this is my first ever bass guitar. And the funny thing is, I sold this guitar in the late 90s to my dad because he wanted a bass guitar, just a metal run at home, or if he got asked to help with a band and play out playing bass, he'd have a bass guitar. Well, then he ended up buying a better precision bass guitar, an actual Fender one. And he asked me if I wanted this one back, and I jumped on it right away and bought it back, and I'm never going to let this one go again because of sentimental values, and plus, still freaking rocks. Not only that, the funny thing is, these are highly sought after on the market. The 80s bass guitars, Squier bass guitars, because they were made in Japan, and the quality of these bass guitars were phenomenal, made out of Japan. I don't know why, but so this one, in mint condition, a guitar, a mid 80s precision Squier P bass guitar, in very good shape, and I consider this one in maybe a little better than fair shape. It's got a few dings on it and everything, but for the most part, it's still pretty good shape. A lot of original stuff still on here. But these guitars I found online because I was just pricing them out and see how much, if I ever wanted to sell them, which not this one anyway. I've seen these go online for as much as $800 to almost $900 for a mid 80s Squier precision bass made in Japan. So it says right here underneath Squier, made in Japan. I know a lot of the printings on the bass guitars, I'll show you the other precisions I got, it says on the back here like made in Indonesia or made in China. That's where they print them now, along with the serial number and stuff like that. But nope, on the front here, right underneath Squier, it says made in Japan. So mid 80s, 1980, from the number I got on the back, I traced it down, and this was made in 1985. So, yep. So there's that one. And now I'll bring out the next one. By the way, I think I got about 10 bass guitars, so this might be a little lengthy video. Please bear with me. Took me a little longer because I grabbed a case. I didn't realize it was empty. I'm like, well, that's not going to do me any good. And I found out it was a case for my custom bass in it, which is the exact same case. I got like 4 or 5 cases look exactly like this one. That's why I have the labels on them. So nothing like confusing myself. Oh yes, this is also one I bought earlier this year. This is a Butte, and I don't know why it took me forever to decide to buy this one, but this is a Squier precision bass, classic vibe, 1950s precision bass. And this is really cool because it's got the Telecaster style headstock on here. One single coil pickup, and of course you got your volume and tone knob. Very simple. And I bought this one earlier this year, late winter. Sorry about that. I just got a big old brain fart. But this thing is cool, and it's a classic vibe, so which is extremely good line of bass guitars from Squier. Did some modifications on this one because you know me, I like to mod guitars and make them a little more to my liking. This used to have a pure white pickup, and I don't know if you can tell this on this video. This is, I think they call this Arctic white, but it's kind of has like a pinkish tone to it, at least in this light. I don't know if it's showing on the video or not, but kind of like a pinkish tone to this white. And these knobs kind of look a little goldish to me. I don't know, maybe I'm just colorblind, I'm not sure. But nice. And the real cool thing on the back side of this, I don't know if you can see this on the video as well, but the paint is light enough that you can actually see the wood grain on here, which is really cool. It's got a real nice glossy back of the neck, of course, with the stripe down the middle. And of course, what I talked about before, there's the serial number, and this one was, it says designed and backed by Fender, with serial number, crafted in Indonesia, which is their main plant right now. The classic vibe and the vintage modified series bass guitars for Squier are now made out of Indonesia. They used to be made when the classic vibe and the vintage modified series started. They used to make them in China. Well, now the plant moved from China to Indonesia, so they come out of Indonesia. So like I said, I did a little bit of modification, changed this pickguard. It used to be all white to now black, just total black pickguard. I think it makes this bass pop a little more. And then I put flat wound strings on here, and it just gives you that 50s kind of thump. It's really, really cool. And I think I've used this on a couple of recordings too. But I really like this Tele style headstock on here. It looks real cool. All right, there's that one. Grab the next one. This next one I got either 2015 or 2016, so I roughly had this one for 10 years, maybe a little more. And I really love this one. This one has really good grain work on this one, wood grain on it. It is a vintage modified 1970s Squier jazz bass with the natural finish on here. And of course the glossy pick guard with the block inlays on here. And on the top of the neck, it's all black with the, yeah. This one was crafted in Indonesia as well. But it's got the typical precision style headstock, jazz bass. Of course, with the jazz pickups, volume for here, volume for this, and the tone. And just beautiful wood graining on this one as well. Really like this one. And sadly, if I was to depart with a bass guitar now, if I decide to sell one, I think I would put this one up. I don't know why. I almost did earlier this year, and I'm really glad that I didn't, because I don't know. I just don't feel like I would get too much from it. I mean, especially with everything going on with Fender right now and the backlash that they're getting. But the quality of, like I mentioned, the quality of these classic vibe and vintage modified Squier guitars is really, really good. I think they're really worth the money for them. And I played out with this guitar with the blues band I was in, and I've had no problems. Nobody's had any problems hearing me play these, but I like to play loud too. So jazz bass right there. Vintage modified 1970s Squier jazz bass. I don't have any editing capabilities, so otherwise I would edit in between getting guitars and stuff like that. So sorry about that. All right. Next one we have is a 2022 Contemporary Active Precision bass. And what the hell is that supposed to mean? Oops. It means I almost broke the guitar trying to get it out of the case. No. This is it. Ta-da! Love this finish on this one. Absolutely beautiful. Contemporary active. Why is it active? Because of this thing. There's a battery for active pickups on this thing. Yeah, I got a few guitars that take 9-volt batteries. Great. So now I got to invest in 9-volt batteries as well. But this thing is really, really cool. You got your standard precision bass pickups here, and the soap bar pickup here on the bridge. And then you got the volume. I believe that's the tone. This one might be the blend between the two pickups, and then the bass and treble booster here on the end. And then normally for a precision bass, you'd have the jack plug right here on the front. But on this particular guitar, it's on the side. But not a glossy neck on this thing. But the headstock is really cool. It's black with kind of like a mirror silver lettering on it. Squier Precision Bass. Squier by Fender, it says on here. And this one was also crafted in Indonesia. But look at the back of this thing. It's like fire roasted wood all the way down. And then a little more of a indent here. So if you play high in the fretboard, it's not like the standard precision bass where it's just kind of blocky right here. There is a little bit of contour to that. But you got your standard contour right there, and then kind of contoured here. And my custom bass is also, when I designed that custom bass, I kind of designed it on the precision back here. It also has the contoured back and then the contoured side. Let me show you that one. I guess I should have pointed out on, but see, you can see a little bit of the contour there, and then you can kind of see the contour on the back here. So going back to this bass guitar, it's actually a mishmash of like some of my favorite guitars, and I kind of threw them into one guitar, and that's how I got this kind of awkward shape. Kind of looks like a Telecaster on the front end. The kind of a Thunderbird bass back here, and Strat contours on this thing. And it has like this neck on here was based on the jazz bass I showed you. Same measurements as the jazz bass. So it kind of has a jazz bass neck on here. 24 fret, so I can go up to 3 octaves, almost 3 octaves on 2 of these strings anyway. But yeah. But anyway, the other guitar was the Squier Contemporary Active Precision Bass. And I can't remember the paint on that one, or the color on that. It was some metallic sunrise, I think it was called. But it was really cool. And I got that one pretty much brand new back in 2022. On to the next one. This is another Squier Classic Vibe Precision Bass. This one is a 1960s Classic Vibe Precision Bass. And you may have seen this one a number of times. This was my #1 bass about 10 years ago when I played in the blues band. And it was this guitar I played when we played in the Battle of the Blues Band, all 3 rounds. Glossy finish, and if you know your bass guitar players, which you probably don't, because I don't know, but I'm here to educate you on that. This is almost exactly looks like Pino Palladino, who played with the Who and been on many recordings. John Mayer Trio. He played with 9 Inch Nails and D'Angelo and a bunch of other artists, mainly known as a session studio musician, bass player, but he has also played with out in live. But anyway, his bass guitar, one of his main bass guitars, is also a 1960s precision bass. And if you look on the Fender website in the bass guitars in the signature models, they have a Pino Palladino precision bass, just like this one, but it's a Fender one, and it's got the road-worn finish, kind of, you know, like it's the actual age of his bass guitar. A lot of people call this one the poor man's version of the Pino Palladino bass. Fiesta red finish, tortoiseshell pick guard. It was really this guitar that gave me the idea to put on my other, pick guard like this on my other precision bass. I just like the look of it. It gives it that vintage kind of look. These also have flat wounds on here. I've used this for the, like I said, I've used this as my main bass guitar with the blues band I played in. But I haven't really used it much now, but I don't think I could ever part with this one because I just love this thing. And of course the back, the glossiness on this thing. And when I said, you know, a lot of these vintage modified and classic vibe Squier bass guitars are made in Indonesia now. This one was made in China. So this one is worth a little more. I think this one, when I looked online to see what the value of this one was, these ones could go, if you find one like this, get close to $700 to $800 online. And this one I would think would sell like almost in very good condition, which could almost net you about $800 for this one. One thing you'd say about my bass guitars and everything, I take very good care of them. And yeah, this one is just phenomenal. Love this thing. I think there's 2 more left, so This is interesting. This one is a guitar made by Dean Guitars, which is known for kind of like heavy metal guitars and basses. This is a John Entwistle hybrid signature bass guitar, which is kind of based off his bass guitars that he used in the 1970s, early 1970s. What he did back then, he had a Thunderbird bass body, and with a Fender Precision neck on it. Now, obviously, couldn't really recreate that for copyright purposes with Fender and Squier, so they made their own. But yeah, look at this one. It says John Entwistle on it with a little Boris the Spider on there. And this is a hybrid, and they don't make these anymore. And these are kind of sought after online too. So the market, the prices for this one has gone up exponentially in the last 3 or 4 years, because when I first looked online, the resale value of this bass guitar was only like $400. I got this one for about $350, roughly 10 years ago. But these ones could go for close to $700 to $800 now. So yeah, you've got the maple neck here, fat frets. When I got this bass guitar, it was just covered in stickers on the front and the back. And oh yeah, 9-volt active pickups. These have the EMG HZ pickups. So you got your volume and your tone. And both of these come on. You can't differentiate between both. But these are the 9-volt powers the bass, mid-range, and treble. And that's what the 9-volt does. Really good through body string bridge, really good. And modification I did to this one, I put a Hipshot detuner on it, of course black to match the other machine heads on this one. This one was made in Indonesia too for Dean Guitars, but yeah. Also nice, it's got a nice little contour cutaway here as well as here. So if you have to reach up here, and of course the cutaway here. But it kind of has the Thunderbird shape to it, with not being quite a Thunderbird because it's got the little, they put a little point here at the end, so it's not total rip-off from Thunderbird. But I haven't really used this one in a while. I should probably take it out and dust it off again and play it. But this got a lot of punch to this one too, so I really like this one. So, yep, here's that one. I got one more left. This one's gonna get a new case soon, but ta-da! Another Dean bass guitar here, and it's an 8-string. And I got this one about 10 years ago, and it's also a 9-volt active pickups. It's got the EMG HZ power pickups, and again, just like on the John Entwistle signature bass, volume, tone, and then the 9-volt powers, bass, mid-range, and treble. This one doesn't have the where you can string it through the body. It's got a different kind of bridge on here, but 8 strings. It's got this cool headstock with the tuning heads kind of offsetting each other. And this one was crafted in Korea. But yeah, look at the woodwork on this neck on the back. It's got a nice little handle here, so if you want to walk around with the bass guitar, you got the handle to hold it like that. The soap bar pickups, similar to the John Entwistle one. But yeah, and I don't know if you can see that wood grain on that one, but it's kind of a dark color, but you can see the wood grain, and it looks really cool, kind of like a marbly kind of finish. I don't really use this one, and I bought this one because I used to have another Dean bass guitar. It was a 10-string bass guitar, and originally I found that one, I thought it was an 8-string, and so when I called Musical Round, which is the same place where I got this one, Musical Round down in Roseville, I called them up and asked them if they had a 8-string Dean bass guitar there. And the guy comes back after a few minutes. He goes, "I don't have an 8-string Dean bass guitar, but I got a 10-string one." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I said, "Well, I'll be down there to pick it up." And I bought that one. I had that one for a number of years. Didn't really use that one as well because I really, when I did use it, I used it as an 8-string. I didn't even use the top B string at all. So I found this one at Musical Round, and this was around when COVID hit, like 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2020. I found this one. I'm like, I gotta have it because it's an actual 8-string. Bought it. I had the 10-string and the 8-string, and I was like, I don't really need both of them because I don't use this guitar a hell of a lot. But it's always nice to have if you want a thicker sound and bass guitar. So I sold my 10-string Dean bass guitar, which was kind of foolish of me because I knew it was a rare guitar because Dean didn't make a whole lot of them. I'm thinking around 150 to 200 of them, and I had one. And so like the market value on that guitar is now pretty high, and I sold it to my friend pretty cheaply because I gave him a friend discount, of course. And he ended up selling it anyway. But anyway, I should have kept on to it, but I wouldn't even use it. So I figured I'd rather sell it and give it to someone who will actually use it. And here I have this one, and I don't really use it, but I have it, and I've used it on a few recordings. And I just got to get it back out and play it again and just get the feel for it because I'd like to use it a little more often. But it really fills out that bass guitar sound on basses and stuff like that. But I have it. Okay. Well, that's all the bass guitars I have. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's a little lengthy. It's almost 40 minutes long, but I just thought I'd show you the studio here and my arsenal of bass guitars I have right now. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you around sometime. See ya.